Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. My name is Mudassir Ijaz and welcome to my channel ProgTech. Today I will tell you about how you can view your data from your database on your browser or your on window where you want. So there is a very simple and the easiest way I will tell you in this video. So don't worry that is too difficult. Not it's not too difficult. It's so simple. First of all, first of all, as in the previous video, I will use one of my form and I will insert the data in my previous video. So in this video, I will show this data on one of my the window. So for this purpose, first of all, as you all of know that creating your database or connect your database, so I will use MySQL connect function and connect my database as this. Now now, as we want to show the data, first of all, we select all the data from the database or from our table. So for this, because we want to show all of our data. So for showing all data, we must select uh, all of our data from our table. So for this, we use the select query, select from, and cr is our table name. So and don't worry about this that you don't remember this query. It's very easy. Go to your database, localhost, and in localhost, go to phpMyAdmin. Here, that is the crud and cr, that is our table name. And in go to SQL, that is the select. Just copy and just copy this query and paste it in your VS Code. So select static from cr is our table name and store it on our one of our variable. So as when we use any query from the database, then the third step is that run our query. So for running the query, we use the mysqli query function. So mysqli query function, and that is the database $sign link, and that is our query variable, and we store them in $sign result. Now $sign result has, and now our query running, and its our result is stored in our $sign result. Now the second work is that we form a table where we want to show our data. uh, we also show the data randomly, but that is the good practice to form one of the table. So I form the table, and for table, I'll use my HTML, open the HTML, and in the body tag, I use the table and give the border 5 with 1000, and I use the class table. And table, I use the heading, ID, name, email, password, and operation. For this, and operations are the actual delete and edit operation, but you just ignore them. You just see the ID, name, email, and password. Just look at them. Now, wait for the and so now the here is that we want to fetch all the data in the start, as I will tell you about select all the data from the database, and now select after selecting, now fetch all the data from database and store it in one of the variable. So for fetching data, I will use the one of the PHP function mysqli fetch soak, and I will tell you more about this. Go to the Google and paste it and search it. Here is the mysqli fetch soak. Here is the definition. Function fetches all result row as an associative array. It means that it fetch the result as an associative array. So uh, go to our VS Code, and I'll use the MySQL fetch assoc function, and $sign result is our query where we store our running query. And we use the while loop. Why we use the while loop? Because we use the while loop because our database has more than one data, not only one, more than one data. And why here the function of the while loop is that while loop running at the time where we it's not find any of the data. It run and run and run and in final when it find that there is no data, then it's stop the working. So we use the while loop. While loop actually run the data run at the point where at that point where there is no data. So we use the while loop. And in while loop, its bracket starts, and here I close the PHP tag because I want to write some of my HTML code. So in HTML code, just td table data, and in table data use the my sorry I'll use the uh, PHP, and in PHP I write the echo dollar sign row, and in as I will just wait for a minute, and as in this definition you all of them read that MySQL fetch SOAK function fetch the data as an associative array, so that as it is the fetch the data associative array, so dollar sign row into that is the array, and into the id. That what is id? The id is actually the database id that we use the names at the database id, us name. These all are the variables that we use in the database. So dollar sign row email, and dollar sign row password. In each td in each td table data element, we echo the all of our data, and these all functions are performed in the while loop. Uh, just ignore these two lines because these are about update and delete the data, and I will tell you about them in our next video, so just ignore them. You basically look at them. And now in the end, we will end our while loop. That is the end of our while loop. Now we check our record that it's show the data in table or not. Go to the localhost slash crud sorry slash interns. Okay, crud operation, and mysql like query, sorry, view dot php, write your file name view dot here that is the, and that is the my name, email, password. Just ignore them. These are the operations that you to update the data and to delete the data. We'll discuss them in our next video. Here is the all the data you may insert in your previous video. So in this way you can view your data, and that is the these are only the 4 to 5 steps. Just first of all select the data, run the query, and then uh, fetch all the data. And how to fetch using the while loop, because why we use the while loop? We use the while loop in order to fetch all the data from database, and it is the functionality of the while loop that it run and run until it find there is the no data. So we use the while loop. First, select the data, run the query, and then fetch the data by the help of MySQL fetcher sock, and then applying it by the help of the while loop. Just these are the points to view the data from the database. Thank you so much, and I'll end my video at this. And now in the next video, I will tell you about how to delete the data. And this is the only 3 to 4 lines of the code to delete the data. Thank you so much, and Allah Hafiz, and wait for my next video. Best of luck.